What's going on, guys? It has been a very, very, very long time since I posted on here. You heard Tony. Tony wants a kiss. Step up. Step up, little man. This is Tony, by the way, for those of you who don't remember. Mustache parakeet, my little male. He's kind of been hanging out on the balcony now that the weather's getting nice in Florida again. Step up. But yeah, it's been a while since I posted on here. I've been getting a lot of things together in terms of living attractions as a business and just getting a bunch of my animals dialed in, getting the Croc enclosure to where I want it to be. You guys are gonna see that in just a second, but it's not exactly where I wish it was right now, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and a lot of things are in the works to where, you know, in the next month, 2 months, it'll be absolutely perfect and everything I want it to be. In today's video, I'm basically just going to be giving you guys some updates, a quick little rundown of the current collection, you know, the things that are here currently that I could show you guys. There's a couple things that, you know, are a little secretive, some little secret projects I've been working out. And also in the next, I think 2 weeks, there's going to be a lot more animals added, thankfully, including, hopefully, a new male Salvadori. So let's get right into it. Let's see this Croc enclosure. So this is the current Salvadori enclosure. You got Suki up there, the sweet mama. You guys probably saw her in the old videos. She's the one that was in this video right here, taming the Croc monitor. Then we have Sumo. Sumo is not too nice, but she's definitely workable. She's actually getting shipped out next week to someone who's planning on breeding her, but she is, like, look at that pattern. She's just probably one of the most beautiful Croc monitors I've personally ever seen. So sucks to see her go, but I'm really only trying to keep one female and then one male who should be coming in very, very soon. I'm going to explain why those are up in a second, and I'm going to give you guys some advice on what not to do with a giant bioactive, because it's been driving me crazy. But quick little rundown. This enclosure is fully bioactive. It's 12 feet long, 4 feet wide, 8 feet tall. They got good basking spot up there. They ripped out the UVB, so I gotta get a new one. And they also unscrewed that bulb, so I just gotta put it back in place. But these guys are a lot smarter than you think. If they feel too hot in here, they will go up and unscrew the bulbs. They weren't liking the amount of UVB, so they took it out, smashed it on the floor. I'm gonna have to go in and secure everything a lot better, on top of the fact that I need a lot more branches. So if any of you are in South Florida and have access to big, thick branches that I could use to, you know, deck this whole thing out, please hit my DMs, Living Attractions on Instagram, Nick Quinones on Facebook. You know, you could probably find all my information through there, but I'm in desperate need of thick branches to do this thing up. I want to change the whole setup. And I also need some thicker plants because I have this false bamboo, these two Ptyas aquaticas, the money trees, but I unbreeded them when they were babies a few years ago, and I've been growing them up as actual trees. But these guys, they do a lot of damage trying to climb these plants. So I'm going to have to go in and take all these plants out, other than the little ground cover. Like this philodendron burl marks is doing great. The pothos is starting to spread. But other than that, all the big plants, they try climbing them, they crush them, rip all the leaves apart, break the stems. It's not optimal. So I'm going to try to find trees that have like thick trunks without them being like 12 feet tall, so they could actually fit in here, and see how that works. I might actually try bonsaiing one of these and growing it up out on the balcony so that, you know, I can make a tree that goes out that way instead of growing up, and they could like climb on all the branches. But that's a few years in the works. And as substrate, I got this homemade bioactive mix. It stays nice and dry on top. And then down there, it's super moist, just like it would be in the rainforest. And as they knock the leaves down, makes a bunch of natural leaf litter. I also have a ton of leaf litter mixed in here. Some moss, a bunch of things like that. There are about, I think it's close to 2,500 isopods in here. But they all burrow down to that moisture, and they tend to congregate around the root systems to all the plants. So I don't see them that often, except at nighttime they come up to feed. But I'm gonna be going through here today, doing a little spot cleaning, you know, sprucing things up, and I'm also gonna show you guys the actual Crocs up close. And I also have to clean this glass desperately, so I'm gonna get my Crocs on, no pun intended, and we're gonna get to cleaning this. So once a week, I kind of just go through here and like take little pieces of urates and poop out. The isopods tend to take care of a lot of it, but then once in a while they'll just leave behind little scraps. And I leave all the shed skin in there and everything just because they like to feed off that as well. Suki's investigating me. So Suki's actually gravid, and she has a couple different burrows around here, so every time I get close, she'll just check it out, make sure I'm not messing with them. But she's super sweet. I know I have full confidence in her. I know she wouldn't do anything to hurt me intentionally. But when it comes time to grab her, those claws definitely do some damage. This is my sweet little Suki. Hey, baby. Yeah, it's been a while since she's let me pet her. I think ever since she started this cycle, she's kind of gotten a little on edge about me being around her. But she's still a good girl. She's about, I want to say she's like 6 feet now. And then Sumo over here, Sumo's not that nice, so I'm not even going to try. But Sumo's also sitting around 6 feet now. But Jesus, this is one gorgeous Croc monitor. She's a sarong locality, super high yellow. Yeah, I see you, girl. You're good. Yep. Yeah. She's not too happy with me being in here, as you could see with her disapproval. But Suki, she doesn't really mind. So that's why I'm keeping Suki, even though, as much as I hate to say it, Sumo is the prettier one. Suki is just a big baby. Like, she has no problem with me being in here. She doesn't let me pet her anymore. But, you know, it's always good to have a Croc monitor that's easy to work around. Because as most of you know, they have some gnarly teeth in that mouth. I see you, girl. I see you. And yeah, they could do some serious damage. I already took an accidental bite from Sumo, hand feeding her like a dumbass. But I know, mama. I know. But yeah, these guys are definitely not an animal you want to mess with when it comes to taking a bite out of, you know, defense. Because they will seriously tear you up, probably take something off. I know, I'm getting out in a second. And just all around, it would be just a nasty, nasty bite. You could go online and find pictures of people's like hands and arms before and after bite. It's just absolutely gnarly. Now, even though Sumo's being a little big right now, I have to get in here and clean the glass. It's driving me crazy. It's been dirty for a good little bit. I've kind of been trying to hold off on it, but I have to hop in there and clean it right now. So I'm gonna set you guys back up on the tripod and wish me luck. So, I'll take this moment to try to see how they're gonna act with me. You could see Suki has no issue with me. She just simply doesn't want me to touch her. Sumo's being pretty good now too. Yeah, these guys are pretty well behaved for Croc monitors. Like, I put a lot of time into them. Suki used to allow me to like fully touch her, pet her down. Hey baby. You miss me? You miss me, Suk? But Sumo just has never liked me. Like, she's gotten past the point where she'll open mouth charge me and actually try to, you know, kill me. But she just simply wants nothing to do with me. So I'd rather keep the one female that kind of has a bond with me and then get a male, start fresh, and hopefully be able to have a super tame male. The only thing about having a super tame female is that once they cycle, all their hormones start rushing. Sometimes their mood could be a little iffy at times. But males, if you have a tame male, chances are it will consistently be your tame little pet dinosaur. So super excited for this male. Hey, like that clean glass? You're gonna mess it up already? All right, so there you have it. You've seen the beautiful Papua New Guinea enclosure, but it's not what it looks like. It's not as good as it looks. I'm gonna explain why. There's a little Suki right there, just laying down. Beautiful, I love it so much. But this has about 200 pounds of bioactive soil in it. Everything was sterilized. I bought it clean, mixed it up, threw it in here, and then I moved some plants in here that I had growing in my place, in my apartment. The plants did well. Everything was doing great. I got the LEDs, the UVB, they were flourishing. And then I added this false bamboo from a nursery, and instantly, fungus gnats. I hate them. I fucking hate them with every bit of hate in my heart. One thing about me is that I cannot stand little flying insects flying everywhere, and this enclosure is in my bedroom. So the population started taking off. They're breeding in my chameleon enclosure and the colii enclosure. They're everywhere right now. So I have all these sticky traps hanging up all around my apartment, trying to wipe them out, but they're still breeding in here. There's no way I could catch all of them. So I'm gonna be testing something out, and I'll make a video about this when I do. But one of the guys I work with, oh, there's a little isopod down there. One of the guys I work with recommended predatory mites. It sounds kind of weird putting mites in a reptile enclosure. It sounds to me like a recipe for disaster, but I did more research. These mites, these right here, the specific species, target fungus gnat larvae that lives in the soil. And if they could, they'll even catch and eat, a fully mature fungus gnat. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna pack this enclosure with like 24,000 of them. I'm gonna throw them in every single enclosure. We're gonna see how it goes, because honestly, I'm pretty desperate to get rid of these things, and I do not feel like putting all this nice, fertile, bioactive mix in isopods to waste. So stay tuned for that in a future video. Hopefully it all works out well, because these things are driving me insane. But other than those fungus gnats, the only other bad part is, like I said earlier, the plants. Sorry about that, girl. I will keep updating you guys about this enclosure as it progresses and goes forward, as well as everything that goes on with the Croc monitors, Sumo getting shipped out, the mail coming in. It's all super fun stuff. So enough with the Salvadori. I want to show you guys some snakes, some super, super cool snakes. And I think you're going to like them. You don't see them that often in the States. They're pretty rare, pretty hard to find, but honestly, my personal favorite. All right, so this, for those of you that don't know, this is the longest colubrid in the world. It's called Ptyas carinata. It's an old world rat snake. I believe the common name is greater keeled rat snake. And this is Pimp. His name's Pimp, by the way, for obvious reasons. But he's a little over 10 feet right now. Massive. And believe it or not, that's not as long as they get. He's still growing. But this is kind of what they call a normal phase. I'm not sure the exact locality. I'm still trying to do a little more research into knowing where this look of them comes from. But as you could see, it's kind of like, it's got banding, and then the tail has lateral stripes going all the way down. There's also another face, the Melanistic. Those are from Java, Indonesia. I'm going to show you guys one of those in a second. This is my big boy Pimp. The closest snake I could compare this to would be kind of like a king cobra. That's literally how they act. They're super intelligent. You can see them checking everything out, looking at my little hairless dog. They process everything, and you could see that brain working. They got those big eyes because I believe they are nocturnal, and they hunt frogs and other snakes in the wild. So in captivity, once they come in, they usually come in pretty skinny, not exactly in the best shape, and it takes a little tender loving care to get them going and eating chicks, rodents, things like that are more accessible to us. Pimp is still only eating frogs. So he eats regularly, frog legs, live bullfrogs from the Asian market, but it's been a pain in the ass trying to get him to eat rodents and chicks. But we'll get there one day. He's been in captivity for about a year, gained a ton of weight, and his attitude's really not that bad. I don't know if you guys could hear. Of course, now he's not gonna do it, but they growl just like a king cobra. They have a very big trachea and like a little sac that they could fill up with air in their throat, and they'll just unload that big mean growl. But half the time it's not out of aggression, they're just kind of letting you know they're there. And as you can see, he's not biting or anything. Pretty well behaved little guy. But they always focus in on the face. They will look you in your eyes and just try figuring you out, seeing what you are, what you're doing with them. But at this point, he knows I'm not gonna hurt him, and I know he won't hurt me. Hey, Pimp. Let me show you guys the Melanistic phase. So this is the Melanistic phase, the Java locality from Java, Indonesia. You could see this thing is jet black all around. When they puff up, they got those faint white bands going down their sides, and everything is black about them except that chin. This one you could already see off the bat, he's super friendly. He's not really puffing up, not checking me out or anything. But if you see the difference in body shape between this one and Pimp, this one eats everything. He's eating rats, mice, chicks, quail, everything. Anything you could think of, this guy will eat. And once Ptyas carinata get going in captivity, they're bulletproof. They'll eat everything. It's kind of like a monitor feeding response. The second that food gets in there, they are on it. They use those big eyes to locate their prey, and they just slam it and take it down. Quickest eating snake I have ever witnessed in my life. But the black ones, they just have that badass look to them. It's just, nothing beats an all black giant snake. This one's sitting right around 8.5 feet. I measured him last night. And those of you that follow me on Instagram probably saw it on my story. I absolutely love this species. Probably my favorite species of snake, just because of the fact that it's like a non-venomous king cobra. And, those of you that know me personally know I love my intelligent species. And when it comes to snakes, this one, other than the Ophiophagus, these top the list for sure. If you guys are interested in Ptyas carinata, I do consistently have them for sale. So again, DM me at Living Attractions on Instagram, or visit my Morphmarket, Living Attractions. Chances are I'll have some posted on there very soon. And yeah, super underrated species, and not enough people know about them, but definitely one of Indonesia's gems. Ptyas carinata, greater keeled rat snake. So there you have it. Some of my favorite Indonesian species, a lot of the Indonesian species I keep. And I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, Tony is also an Indonesian species. Psittacula alexandri. They live all over the Afro-Asian islands, including Indonesia. So there you have it, guys. Till the next video, hit up Living Attractions on Instagram. And if you guys have any husbandry questions, care questions, availability questions, don't forget to DM me on Instagram or straight through Morphmarket. Till next time.